happening, y'all? Welcome once again to the number one news source for all that nerdish on the hub, the Creatia Conversation. I am your host, Lord Cussalot Travis Pointer, aka the Dragon King, aka Big T, aka T Money, aka Sweet T, aka Black Merlin, aka the HNIC. And I'm joined again today on this wonderful May 5th afternoon by the honorary use of Creation World at the Will Gray. How you doing today, Will?
Travis, it's always a pleasure when our paths cross. It's April 5th, though. You're a month off.
What did I say?
May 5th.
Damn.
Yeah. Yesterday would have been May the 4th. That would have been a much bigger deal for all of us.
For all of y'all.
Oh, yeah, you're a Trekkie. Is that how we're going to start this episode?
That's the thing. My love for Star Trek isn't the reason why I don't like Star Wars. One has nothing to do with the other. Because I look at it on paper. I tell people all the time, on paper, I should love Star Wars. But it's just like every time I'm watching, I'm just like all the time, like I don't care. Like all the time. I'm having a hard time caring every time I watch it. But that's not what we're here to talk about, Will. Because we'll go back and forth about this all afternoon, and we don't have time for that. We're here to do a show. Like I said, it is April 5th.
April 5th.
It is April 5th. And April 5th is actually an important day, for us here, the Creation World family. It is the Warden Matt Ritter's birthday. So happy birthday to you, Matt. We appreciate you. We love you. Blah, blah, blah. All that good stuff. Everybody go tweet at him and all that kind of stuff. Wish him a happy birthday. Give him some love. All of that. Now, enough about Matt. How about you, Will? What you been up to? What you been watching? What you been playing?
Travis, I have this rabbit hole with you that you and I can go down right now. It won't take us long. Okay. Starts a little sad, ends a little bit hilarious. Okay. My dad passed a few years ago. It was then and there during the pandemic and all of that. And a few years later, we get a call from a storage place and they're like, hey, your dad had a storage unit down here. We need you guys to come clean it out or we're going to send it to auction. So me and my sister go down there and we're like, okay, let's sort it out and see what the hell's going on. It turns out after me and my sisters packed up and moved out, he became a mild bit of a hoarder is a good way to put it. So literally right now what we're doing is we're searching through all of these rummage bin DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff he's collected throughout the years.
Okay.
And the running joke is when we find these B-list horrors, is it a horror movie or is it a porno? Because we're not real sure. Because we'll go through some of it and I'm like, that's definitely like a B-list horror Lake Placid. And then you flip it over and you see the back of it and you're like, no, that's definitely alligator porn. You know what I mean? Like, so honestly, like that's kind of what I've been doing is just searching through this catalog of all these like B-list movies that for some reason my dad collected throughout the last 20 years.
Wow. Okay. I mean, all right then. That was not at all what I was expecting to hear today when I hopped on here with you, but yeah, I appreciate that.
You should have saw the text I was sending Matt the day it was happening, like in real time. I was like, you're not going to believe what we just found. You're not going to. One of the texts included it was a direct quote was, isn't there a market somewhere for vintage Playboys? Because we found a tub full of just nothing but 1970s Playboys. And Matt was like, definitely.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely a market for it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Please, if you have it, if you and Mac in some kind of way work that out where y'all can make some getting off content with that shit, he'd be all for
it. Figure out a way to digitize some of these old B-list like pornos from the 80s.
Yeah. If there's a way, he'd be all for it. Well, on my end, I got a couple of things. We finished The Night Agent on Netflix, which really good show. I enjoyed it. I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but yeah, it was a pretty good one. Then we started watching Unstable on Netflix, Rob Lowe. And Rob Lowe is one of the most entertaining human beings on the planet, and I will watch him anytime because he cracks me up. So
Oh god, I wasn't a big Parks and Rec fan, but I thought he brought something to that show that was just awesome.
mm,
And never really, he's one of those guys I've never seen anything with him in it that I didn't like.
right.
Both of those are on the Netflix suggest for you top 10 thing they do for you.
Hmm.
But I'm so bad about starting shows.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
terrible
want
about
to
it.
get to it when you get to it. Like it's not one of those things where it's just like it's not like The Last of Us where I'm like, you need to watch this. Like
And you were absolutely right about that.
it's like, neither one of them are like that, but they're both really good. They're both entertaining to watch. But I made a note of this yesterday, actually, and I forgot to bring it up earlier, but I'll bring it up now. Well, I didn't know something about you. We actually have another connection that I was unaware of.
Really?
I found out recently from your social media, sir, that you played the saxophone.
I do. I was a classically trained saxophone player from 5th grade all the way through college. I know, right? Small, like do you play sax?
I do. I
That's
do.
amazing. Did you have did you have a specific one? Did you play like I
I
played
played
tenor?
alto.
You played alto? I was a
Mhm.
tenor player all the way through college and big band. I played alto. They made me play alto and wind ensemble. I hated it, but I was a tenor player.
Yeah, I played alto. I tried out the soprano sax when I was in high school for like a day, and I'm like, no, like this isn't fun. Like I don't like this, and I went back to alto.
There's pictures I've been finding some. The one that you're talking about was from I think that's my freshman or sophomore year of high school. I've got some from college where I'm in full like duck garb, looking like a tuxedo ass motherfucker, like going into wind ensemble concerts. But it was
Yeah,
like rave will. So there's some of me in a tuxedo, but then I have like the leftover little red polka dots in my hair from where I was at a party over the weekend or something wild. Like, yeah, that was me.
see if I can. I know my parents have pictures of me from high school when I was in band. Hold on, let me see if I'm almost positive that at least one of them has posted one of these pictures on Facebook at some point. Um, but there's one of me in high school just posing with the saxophone and shit like that in my band uniform and shit, which is, yeah, I'm not gonna find this. Is gonna take forever, so we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole. But yeah,
It can be a thread later where we just post our embarrassing high school band photos.
I only know of one that exists that they have from high school at least. I have pictures of me from college in band, but I was intoxicated in most of those pictures. Because yeah,
I
the
was
marching 100, we did a lot of things that we probably shouldn't have been doing.
I didn't march saxophone in college. I marched tuba. I was on the Sousa
Oh,
line. It was a totally different
oh, you
life.
switched over to brass. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Low
When you were
brass, not even just brass. You switched over to low brass.
oh
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. It was a
What
totally
prompted
different
that?
world. It was honestly when I got to the Band of Blue in Middle Tennessee, there were 1,000 fucking saxophone players, and they were like, we need sousaphones, and I was like, I had marching experience in high school because I had to march tuba one year because we didn't have one. So I was like, fuck it, I'll learn to play tuba. So I marched sousaphone my junior year in high school or something crazy. So I was like, yeah, I can do it. So I switched my freshman year, and then all 4 years I marched in college, I marched sousaphone every year after that. I never marched
Yeah.
saxophone. My saxophone professor hated it because 4 months out of the year, 5 months out of the year for marching season, I hardly ever touched my saxophone because I was marching tuba.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
were almost like learning a new instrument that whole time. You had to focus on that. You can't be, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Completely different way you hold your lips and all that kind of stuff. It's a whole different thing. You go from, using all your fingers to using three. It's like it's completely different. I get you. But yeah. Let's move on from band stuff. But that was a pleasant surprise to see. Yes.
I am a band. I was a band geek for a long time before I just became a regular geek.
Oh man, but oftentimes those things overlap. So, it's a good time. But with that, let's move forward. Let's get into some newsy time.
Newsy time.
So we got a few things on the docket here. Let's start with this one because I was just when they brought this up, at first was like, why? But then I was just kind of like, maybe. So Street Fighter. We're getting the Street Fighter movie again, Will. They've tried this a couple times. We got the one with Jean-Claude Van Damme back in the 90s, which is objectively a bad movie, but I will watch it every time I see it on TV or anything because
It's one of those cult classic kind of
yeah,
movies,
yeah,
though.
yeah. You got, when else will you get to see Jean-Claude Van Damme fight Gomez Adams? Like
It's pretty solid. There's not an argument to be made in that sentence. You're right.
But this article comes from IGN, so go check them out. Logan Plant wrote this one. A new live action Street Fighter feature film is in development at Legendary Entertainment. Legendary Entertainment now holds the rights for live action film and television adaptations of Capcom's Street Fighter franchise. The company announced it today. Well, it was at the time of the article, which was day before yesterday, it looks like. All projects from Legendary will be developed in conjunction with Capcom. Today's announcement didn't reveal any details about the upcoming film, but the production company has previously dipped its toe in the video game world with its Detective Pikachu movie, which is what made me go like, oh, okay. Legendary is also responsible for Dune and Enola Holmes and modern MonsterVerse movies. The Street Fighter franchise live action movies before, with the most famous being 1994 Street Fighter starring Jean-Claude Van Damme, like I mentioned earlier. Another attempt was made in 2009 with Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li, which I never saw. So did you see that one?
I did not.
Yeah. I knew it existed and just never got around to watching it. There have also been a handful of animated movies and television series in the Street Fighter universe, and I've seen all those, though. And I fucking love them. Let's see. But yeah. So how you feeling? Street Fighter movie.
I think it's kind of a blessing and a curse when it comes to making a Street Fighter live action movies. The fact is there's only been 2. Neither of them were super big successes. The first one's kind of a cult classic. The second one, you and I both admitted on air that we were just like, yeah, we just never got around to watching it. So the blessing side of that is they're kind of working with a clean slate here. And with the universe being so large between all the games throughout their history, this is just a bag full of gold for them if they did it right. But looking at it on the other side, 2, semi-successful production houses have tried to do it before, and neither one of them have been successful. So, like, if they can take it, run with it, and do something great, then that's awesome because they opened a door to all of this content with all the games and stuff. But they also run the risk of doing what these other 2 did, which is falling into mediocrity.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, same folks that did Detective Pikachu. I like Detective Pikachu, so
it was one of those solid watches. Like I watched it once and I was like, that was that was good. Not that I'm never going to sit down. I'm not going to search it out. You know what I mean? But having seen it, I was like, it was worth sitting through at least once.
Exactly. It's not one of those movies I went to just like, I wish I hadn't paid to see this movie. It was one of those like, oh, this was worth it. I had a good time with this.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Street Fighter movie. What do you people think? You all let me know what you think about a Street Fighter movie coming,
I've always been a big fan of the games, just in general. Like the Street Fighter button masher, just go off on each other. Mortal Kombat. I liked Mortal Kombat a lot and the longevity of that series. But there's something about being like Blanca and electrocuting your opponent, or like
Sonic Boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think that was the only issue I had with the 1994 movie is that Guile never did a Sonic Boom. Like the only one that ever actually got their powers for real was Bison.
Mm-hmm.
You had all the other characters in there, but they never did their thing, But oh well. Well, we've waxed over our nerddom quite often, Will, but I don't think we've ever talked about this. Are you a Lord of the Rings guy?
Yes, but not one of the. I'm not a Tolkien super fan, but I've read the books. I've seen all the movies. But
did you watch The Rings of Power?
Honestly, no. This is one of those I've seen pieces of it because, people in or around my life were watching it. So I kind of seen it vicariously while, I would get to somebody's house and they would be watching the end of an episode or something like that. I've seen pieces and chunks of it, but it was one of those things where I was like, I'll wait till they finish the whole season, then I'll go back and binge it. Now it's forever lost in that list of things.
Well, you're not alone. A lot of people out there, most people didn't see this whole thing, this expensive ass show. So apparently, reports have come out that only 37% of viewers actually finished Amazon's Lord of the Rings TV show, which is on record as being the most expensive TV show in history. This article comes from Kotaku, from Zach Zwiesen. So last year's massively expensive Lord of the Rings show on Amazon, Rings of Power, had a lot of hype going into it. Yet after Amazon spent over $450 million on the lavish production, a report claims that fewer than half of the viewers who watched the first episode finished the entire series. Amazon Prime, like basically every other streaming service out there in 2023, is trying desperately to convince millions of people to watch the expensive content it keeps releasing. As repetition in the streaming market grows, competition, not repetition, more content floods, services, costs go up, and subscription prices follow. It's becoming harder and harder to get people to sign up or watch anything. And a new report reveals that only 37% of viewers who watched one episode of Amazon's Lord of the Rings of Power, the most expensive series ever, stuck around to watch the rest of it. That's bad. But even worse, when you realize the minimum stat Amazon wants for a show that's of that size is closer to 50%. So yeah, this a whole lot of data stuff and all that and numbers, but the basic idea is people checked it out because there was all this hype around it, most expensive show ever, Lord of the Rings, and only 37% of people finished it.
This is one of those, like, you rolled the dice and you touched the hot plate and you got burned thing, I think. If you spend $450 million on something, you would hope that it would be, a smash hit success. But not that I've read bad things about it, but when I see that 37% of the people finished it, that means what, 63% didn't?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's why I wasn't reading a lot of bad stuff, because nobody took the time to finish it.
Yeah. I watched the whole thing. And
what did you think then, as one of the minority apparently to have watched the whole series? What did you think about it then?
It was fine. Like, it wasn't like, oh, this is so good, I can't wait to watch the next episode. It was one like, oh, there's another episode out. Right. I'll get to that. And a couple days later, I went ahead and checked it out because, we were kind of hanging out, chilling, didn't really have much we were doing at that particular moment. So like, yeah, let's go ahead and watch that now, or like, usually like Saturday and Sunday, we make sure we have breakfast together. So we're watching something. And that was one of the things we watched on the weekend when we were eating breakfast together and stuff. So it's just, it was, I don't know. There was nothing special about it outside of look how pretty this is, because it looked fantastic. Like visually, it was fucking stunning.
Was it like an Avatar TV show though? Like it looked like it to me. It looked like Lord of the Rings, the movies, put with a 2023 coat of paint on it. Ultimately, you know what I mean? Like an upgraded, like skin set. Like however you want to look at it. What I mean? Like,
but what made it more impressive was the scale. Because it was just like, yeah, you can take the Lord of the Rings stuff because you look at the Lord of the Rings. There are only a couple scenes that were actually like really big kind of scenes. A lot of it was all contained,
compact, yeah.
in certain areas. They made those certain areas look really good. But this is one they could have shot so much stuff from like high up and all that kind of stuff, and showing all these huge like expensive ass sets and all that kind of stuff they built, and it all just looked so good. Just the story itself just wasn't all that interesting. I mean, it was cool, and it probably meant more to people who were like real deep Tolkien people that you were saying, like, that we're not them, And I don't know how you build something like that when there's only not a small minority, but not nearly the majority that you need who are really into it like that.
There's these subgenres of your nerdy type people, and you and I, we were joking about it when the show first started, Star Wars versus Star Trek, George Martin versus Tolkien, like all of these like little subgroups and genres of your nerdisms. And I feel like the Lord of the Rings, this was their version of Game of Thrones. They were getting a live action TV show, multi-part series. They were looking to do more than one season, and it just didn't land. Like, at least apparently on first glimpse, it just didn't land.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the world of like somebody like a George Martin, the way he wrote it, I do know the lore behind that. And I'm like, I can't wait for this series of stories, or the possibility of this series of stories. I know that exists in Tolkien's world. I'm not familiar with it. So like, as a Tolkien fan, that's what they saw this as, was the opportunity to get, this could have been like their House of Dragons maybe.
Yeah.
And it just didn't deliver.
I think what happened with this, as far as what you just explained goes, that's not at all. It's not all the whole problem, but what you were just talking about with that, people didn't have a recent enough reminder of what the base story is. Like, those movies came out so long ago, like,
Yeah, I was in high school when
about to say, when the last one
yeah.
came out, high school. So
Yeah.
and I graduated from high school in 2005. So like, it was over, almost 20 years ago when these movies came out. So recently, nobody who's really going to be, especially digital stuff, like, streaming services and all that, who's really going to be driving that, which is like the younger crowds, are as familiar with it. So you needed to do something more recent for that, to spend that kind of money on something like this. But what I'll say, it might not be as bad as it sounds, because I feel like, I don't know the story going forward or anything, but it seems like a lot of the legwork as far as money goes has already been spent, as far as building things and paying for certain things and all that. And I doubt like the next few seasons are going to cost nearly that much, just because of like the foundation they laid. So that might not be as much of a problem. And also on top of that, it's fucking Amazon. They're Scrooge McDuck it anyway. They're fine. And the thing is, if it really turns out bad, they can write it off as a loss in their taxes and shit. And it actually ends up working out for them anyway. So it's just, they're probably, well, there's no probably about it. They're fine.
They got that Bezos money. They're not hurting in any capacity.
But yeah, even though like we heard recently there was this whole thing about them, because they're shooting another season. It's happening. Like, a horse died on set, and there was a whole thing because Peter was pissed. It's like we talked about it on the show. But yeah, I don't remember who was on that day. I don't think I was.
I remember the story.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of money. What do y'all think out there? It's just, you think they fucked up? You think the next season will get better? Did you finish the first season of Rings of Power? Am I one of those only minorities in this conversation right now who watched the whole thing? Is anybody out there that finished it? Let me know what you thought. And if you didn't finish, tell us why you didn't finish. Yeah, that too.
I'm curious about that math.
What part of the math are you curious about?
We get 3 or 4 people in here that can be like, no, I never finished it. And like, just out of curiosity, because I'm, once again, I'm a nerd. 37%. That means roughly, a little bit more than 1 out of 4, but that's what we would need.
Yeah. Get a good sample size that, correlates.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what else we got here. You know what? Let's watch a trailer.
I love trailer time.
Yeah, let's watch a trailer here. I got one here for you. I don't remember. Do you have any sisters? You do have a sister.
I'm actually, I have 2 sisters. I'm the only boy. And the middle child with an older sister and a younger sister.
Okay.
Yeah, swimming in a sea of estrogen growing up.
Were your sisters Barbie kids?
The older one was. The younger one was not.
Okay. Well, did you know about the Barbie movie?
I have. I've read about it, and I've seen a couple things coming up. I've seen, rave reviews about people that are hyped for it, and I've seen about equal amount of people that have been destroying it. So I'm curious about it. It's piqued my curiosity.
Well, we got a trailer here.
Yes.
So let's check out this Barbie movie trailer. I have not seen this, and I cannot wait, because I'm sure it is going to be fucking ridiculous, and I'm all for it. It already started off great. The feet stay that way.
The feet.
Hi, Ken. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie.
Oh, there's lots of Barbies. Okay.
Hi, Ken.
I can.
They're all Barbie.
I mean, there's lots of different types of Barbies, so yeah.
I thought I might stay over tonight.
Why?
Because we're girlfriend, boyfriend.
To do what?
I'm actually not sure.
They don't even have the necessary parts.
Okay, ladies, let's do this. What are you doing here?
I'm coming with you.
Did you bring your rollerblades?
I literally go nowhere without them.
Wow.
Oh, looks like this beach was a little too much beach for you, Ken.
If I wasn't severely injured, I would beat you off right now, Ken.
I'll beach off with you any day, Ken. Keep both of you off at the same time.
Beat both of us off.
Nobody's gonna beat anyone off.
Oh man,
Cinema.
I'm 12. Oh, oh man, hand job jokes work for me still, people.
Every
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I'm always gonna laugh at one.
Oh man, yes, it was priceless. You know, never owned a Barbie, never played with a Barbie, but I'll go see this. Once you saw Barbie step out of her shoes and her feet stayed up like this, I'm like, oh, they get it. They're in. I'm with it. Okay.
I hope at the end of the movie they break the fourth wall and you find out it's just been a kid playing with
a
Barbies the
whole
whole
time.
fucking movie. Like, I hope that's the case. Like, in a perfect world, that would be the ultimate, like, chef's kiss to end with it.
Absolutely. And there was a moment there where Ken was asking Barbie about staying the night and all that, and sure, it was implying that he wanted to do other things. They don't have the necessary parts to do those certain things, but we do. And when you're doing those things with those parts, sometimes you need a little help, or sometimes you're alone. Either way, a good way to get that help is at Adam and Eve. Because Adam and Eve is the nation's largest marketer of adult products with millions of satisfied customers in the United States and all over the world. Founded in 1971, Adam and Eve is also one of the oldest names in the rapidly evolving adult industry. For more than 50 years, they have built up a reputation as a trusted and reliable adult toy store that takes pleasure and privacy seriously. When you want to shop erotic toys, Adam and Eve has it all. Men and women, straight or gay, and anywhere in between, Adam and Eve has the adult toys you're looking for, including but not limited to vibrators, dildos, anal sex toys, bondage toys, couples toys, lube, sexy gifts, and accessories. Unlike other adult stores, Adam and Eve stands behind all their products and offers a no questions asked return policy. So whether you bought a dildo, sex swing, or penis ring, you can get a refund within 90 days if you're not 100% satisfied. So go to adamandeve.creatiaworld.com and use the code erotica to receive 50% off one item plus free shipping on orders of $49 or more. That's adamandeve.creatiaworld.com for 50% off and free shipping when you use the code erotica.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Almighty says it would become the Lego movie if they did what you're talking about.
See, I think it would be hilarious, especially if they make it as they're obviously going for the hilarious satire stuff along with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would be perfect for them to break the fourth wall at the very end, but only at the very end.
Yeah. Hold it for then. Get people all invested in the movie before you reveal that. Don't reveal that anywhere else, because then it's just like, oh, this is just toys now. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So, Will,
sir,
I don't know if you've heard of this. There's a company out there, smaller, little small thing called WWE. Have you heard of it?
They do the wrestling stuff, right? The pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay.
They do the wrestling stuff. And apparently something interesting has happened with them recently. There was this, the Mania thing happened,
WrestleMania.
Yeah, that.
WrestleMania.
Yeah. And then, right before that happened, we all found out that WWE was bought by Endeavor, who owns UFC. But apparently, WWE is under investigation for possible violations when it comes to this sale. This article comes from Bleacher Report from Scott Polasic. I got there eventually. The impending sale of WWE to Endeavor Group Holdings is under investigation. Felix Upton of Ringside News noted Tuesday that Adema LLP, a law firm that specializes in shareholder litigation, announced it is looking into whether WWE's board of directors obtained a fair and reasonable price in the sale process. Upton shared the news release. Says Ademi LLP alleges WWE's financial outlook and prospects are excellent, and yet the transaction values WWE shares at only approximately $106 per share before any post-closing dividend, with Endeavor holding 51% controlling interest in the new company and existing WWE shareholders holding a 49% interest in the new company. The transaction agreement unreasonably limits competing bids for WWE by imposing a significant penalty if WWE accepts a superior bid. WWE insiders will receive substantial benefits as part of a change of control agreement. We are investigating the conduct of WWE's board of directors and whether they are fulfilling their fiduciary duties to all shareholders, and two, obtain a fair and reasonable price for WWE. Jordan Volansky of CNN reported Monday that WWE's merger with Endeavor Group, which is the parent company of the UFC, valued the UFC at $12.1 billion and WWE at $9.3 billion. After the deal, Endeavor shareholders would own 51% of the new company, with the other 49% belonging to WWE shareholders. Vince McMahon would also remain the executive chairman. Volansky noted that WWE shares fell almost 10% in early trading after the news of the deal broke, which is interesting to me because I figured they would go up. But yeah, so they looking at like, are they practicing fair and balanced business? I guess I don't know.
I did this whole deep dive yesterday.
I figured, which is why I made sure I put this on the news.
It was Monday morning. I woke up and I wrote a primer. So a shameless plug there over at the .com for botch bots and chair shots. But it was a primer as to who Endeavor Group Holdings is.
Wait. What's the .com?
Botchbotsandchairshots.com.
Botchbotsandchairshots.com. People go there, check that out. He's got the full breakdown there.
But it was kind of the primer as to who Endeavor Group Holdings was, because they started as a talent agency and then they started gobbling up competitors like they were fucking Pac-Man throughout the late 90s, early 2000s. Then they started buying things like sports books online when online betting became a thing. They owned the PBR, the Professional Bull Riders Association. They own the Miss Universe organization. They own the parent company Zuffa that owns UFC. This company in itself is already worth billions of dollars. So what they did was they Pac-Man the WWE and brought it in. The reason why this is under scrutiny is because before Endeavor bought WWE, if you looked at it like a big pie, like shareholders do, and there's 100 pieces of the pie, Vince McMahon owned 81% of that pie, and the other 19% of the company was divided between all the shareholders. Okay. Now the way this company works is they bought WWE. They bought 51% of the company. The shareholders keep the other 49%. Okay. Now that 81% that Vince originally owned of the company, Vince now owns 81% of the 49% of the new company.
Mm.
So the shareholders are getting an even smaller piece of a publicly traded company now, because Vince comes into it as a board of directors, the number 2 in Endeavor now, overseeing everything. The only boss he reports to is Ari Emanuel. He got preferred stock options on the sell. He got all of the other the legal mumbo jumbo from the Bleacher Report article eventually wraps around to being Vince was able to sell it for less money to make more money on the back end.
But so yeah, he sold for less but made more for himself, and in turn ended up screwing over shareholders. Got you.
Bingo. That's the long and the short of it of what happened. And right now what they're doing is they're going through the litigation process to find out how much of this sticks to the wall when it's all said and done.
Thank you for clarifying that for people.
That's
and
clear
for me
mud.
as well, because I was just like, okay, I it kind of makes sense, but I'm not sure exactly where the possible illegal part came in. But now I got you.
It's I don't like to speculate on these things because I'm a lowly wrestling journalist. I don't talk about Wall Street in any capacity. But this borderlines on that insider trading kind of thing, and that same gambit and arena as some of that stuff. He was able to make the sell in order to profit after the fact. And that is apparently illegal. You can't lowball yourself to make more money on the back end, because this will skirt things like taxes and all of the other the mumbo jumbo that, like I said, people like everyday people like you and I have no idea about corporate taxes when it comes to multi-billion-dollar companies.
Right.
But like, he was shortchanging things to cut around these corners, or allegedly cutting around these corners.
Right. But where there's smoke, there's usually at least a spark. So, we shall see. But in other WWE news, we got a star that's going to be taking a little break. This article comes from comicbook.com. Who wrote this? Connor Casey. So go check them out there. So Charlotte Flair will be taking a break from WWE programming, according to a new report from PW Insider. The Queen informed WWE officials about her decision during WrestleMania weekend, and while it didn't have an influence over Rhea Ripley winning the SmackDown Women's Championship from Flair during WrestleMania 39, night 1, she's not expected to be on this week's Friday Night SmackDown. Details of how long the break will be are unknown, though she did apparently tell people backstage that she and Andrade, her husband, are looking to travel. She also confirmed with ESPN that she's looking to compete in a bodybuilding competition this summer. The 14-time women's champion looked noticeably shredded for her bout against Ripley. But yeah, there's more to it, but that's the gist of it. She's taking some time off, saying she's going to travel, saying she also wants to do a bodybuilding competition. A lot of them do that, which makes sense because they stay in very good shape throughout the year. The transition isn't completely impossible. It's doable. We've seen Bianca Belair did it. I think she did figure. We got what's Peyton Royce's real name?
That was the Iconics, right?
Yeah. Whatever the fuck her real name is. But yeah, she did a competition. I think she did bikini. Only reason why I know this is because my best friend Brittany does bodybuilding competition. She actually competes in the wellness division. She's also has competed in bikini and figure before, so I kind of know what the different looks look like.
I'm also a bikini model.
You know what? I can see it. I can see it.
I get out there. I'm styling. What they do is they Photoshop the beard away, and you would never tell.
You know what? You're absolutely right. I can see it. But yeah. So we'll see. I mean, looking at how Charlotte is built, she'll probably do figure. Makes sense, but we'll see what ends up happening. You never really know.
She deserves a break. She's one of I've always said, I've said it on Smacking It Raw, I've said it on my show, that she's bigger than the title. She doesn't need the title, so she's well past the needing to pay her dues, or however you want to look at it. Charlotte decides she's ready to be a part-timer, let her be a part-timer. Andrade's contract's about to be up. So if WWE is not using her and giving her the break, this will give them a chance to do whatever the hell they want to, as still a newlywed couple in a lot of ways. So give the lady a break. Let her do whatever the hell she wants to.
Yeah. It's one of those where like, yeah, you're also just you're that good. So it's like
Yeah.
a lot of people like say like they don't like her, they're tired of her and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, yeah, but she is that good. And that's the problem. It's like you can't just not have that around when you're that good. You want them in the mix of things. So
she came back to work. The night she came back, she won the title. She held the title. The night she lost the title, she was like, all right, I'm going to take some time off now. I'll see you guys. And she'll disappear and ride off into the sunset for 6 months, and then she'll come back, and then she'll win another title. And it's like she is she's the Okada of WWE. Like New Japan will bring in Okada and run his style and let him get over and do his thing. And then when he's not working, he can pretty much do whatever the fuck he wants to because he's Okada. That's who Charlotte Flair is now in WWE. They bring her in when they need her, and when she's gone, she gets to do whatever the hell she wants.
Okay. Does Charlotte have a dog?
I'm sure they probably do. It's man's best friend, right? Most everybody has a dog.
Most do.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a dog, and we're just gonna assume Charlotte has a dog, you should go to dog.com to make sure you're taking very good care of that dog. Because dog.com is the word I'm looking for, is your online dog supplies, shopping, and information destination. Everything your dog needs, from toys to treats and food, is available, including collars and leashes. They even have outdoor gear and water safety gear for your furry friend. So go to dog.creationworld.com to receive the 64% off your order today. That's dog.creationworld.com to receive up to 64% off your order today. Like all these, link is in the description. All righty. Yeah, let's see what we got here. Let's talk some D&D real quick. So recently the D&D Creator Summit took place over the weekend. Now more content creators are coming out and speaking about their experiences and what happened there. Because a lot of people who are in D&D, myself included, who, play a lot of D&D, who also are, working on content for D&D and, figuring out writing this, basically like taking notes to write a source book and, adventures to sell and all that kind of stuff. And also looking to put out other D&D content, on our channel and all that kind of stuff. It's the kind of thing that I need to know about. So over the weekend, Wizard of the Coast hosted the D&D Creator Summit. This was an event where notable tabletop developers and content creators were invited for a sneak preview of upcoming projects and books coming to the widely popular fantasy tabletop RPG. While the event did cover recent developments such as the upcoming 1D&D and the officially announced virtual tabletop, those attending the event managed to hold an open conversation with the developers. That conversation has led to new insights into the future of the RPG and those that create content for it. So I'm going to try to summarize a lot of this because there's a lot going on here, and the deeper I get into it, the less people are going to care. So it's one of those things that mean a lot. It all means a lot to me, but surface level, a lot of the stuff was about the virtual tabletop. Basically saying it's going to be first opened up to just the people within their, inside their company testing it and all that as far as the virtual tabletop goes. Then they're going to open it up to some content creators out there, more notable people, to give it a shot and figure it out. And then it'll be opened up to more to D&D Beyond subscribers, probably at a certain level, who pay a certain amount and all that kind of shit. And then moving forward with that, then it'll open up to more people later and later and later. As far as what's going to be available on it, it's weird and complicated, like as what's going to be available when, because they said they're going to have homebrew stuff. They said there's going to be, the ability to create things and all that in there, but they never said when that was coming. I don't know if when it comes out, they're just going to have pre-made, digital miniatures for you to use and all that kind of stuff, and that'll be all that's available. Or are they going to create, miniatures for every monster that, comes out in new books and all that kind of stuff? Is that all going to be searchable? Will we have to make that? One thing I did find out, though, was the fact that it's a downloadable, like, actual app to play it. It's not built in browser, which can be a problem for some people who are playing digitally, because it requires everybody you're playing with to download this stuff. And a lot of people don't have that much room on their PC or their Mac or anything like that. And also it can be a problem when you're, how do I put this? I lost my train of thought now.
When you're having the storage on your app inside.
Yeah, there's that, but it was
app-based.
There was somewhere else I was going with that. Oh, yes, with your computer, because it's running in Unreal 5. There are, not the common person out there doesn't have a PC built to do that. Like mine can, but I custom built this baby to do what we do here and run games and all that kind of stuff. If you're a PC gamer, you have a PC that can run this. But a lot of people, if it's running Unreal 5, that's a hefty system.
As a Mac user, I wouldn't be able to use it.
See, there we go. But if it's in browser, it's just one of those things like, why wouldn't you? Okay, whatever, man. Like, it's one of those things where I'm just like, I don't think I'll really be able to use this. Like, I'll have to do it another way where it's just like, if I'm playing with people, I'll just be controlling everything on the board and everything and just kind of share it and hear something like that so they can see what's happening. But they won't be able to look at it themselves and kind of move around, look around the map and see what they see from where they're at and all that. Like, they can only see what I show them, which on one hand is cool for a dungeon master to kind of control things and all that. But I don't like to do that anyway. I want them to see them like, oh, wait, well, can I do this to that over? I want my players to do other things. But there was that, and then there were other questions about how they plan on monetizing it, because it's a viable question, because they're not just making it for the shits and giggles of it. We know you intend to make money on this, so how do you plan on doing that? So tell us, so we know if you're trying to screw me over.
Is it going to be littered with microtransactions or something?
Well, that's the thing. They said they're not going to do that, because they literally said that that's not what they're going to do. They said it's not a video game. My guess is they're going to have like a subscription fee for it. Like, it's going to be a thing you got to pay monthly to use it and all that. And then having that encourages you to buy other things on their platform, like the other books and all that on D&D Beyond, which will integrate with it to help you using that stuff and all that. And that's how they plan to make their money, which makes sense.
Membership tiers.
Yeah, exactly.
Basic ad free for this much. The free version has all the ads. Then you go up from tiers from there. I would think that would probably be it, which makes sense for this style of a platform.
Mm-hmm. They even said out like up front, like, this is not a video game. That's not what we're doing, which, okay, cool. They also were talking about how they're going to integrate the whole buying physical books versus buying digital stuff, because a lot of people, in order to use stuff on D&D Beyond, have to buy the stuff twice, because you have the physical book, but then you don't have it in D&D Beyond to be able to use, which is a frustrating point for me sometimes too, because I have the Dungeon Master's Guide and the Player's Handbook physically, but I don't have them in D&D Beyond. I did, however, go in there and buy like certain things, because you can like buy certain parts of the books, like the monsters from the book and the all that kind of stuff. But if I want to look up something, I have to go back and grab the book.
You've got to grab the physical book. Yeah.
Which I don't hate doing it, but it's, if I'm like on my own time, just kind of, hanging out and chilling kind of thing. Yeah, I'll look through them. I'll look through it. I'll look through the Dungeon Master's Guide to see if there's anything interesting. I'm like, oh, yeah, I can try this at some point. But if I'm actually sitting here, because I play a lot digitally, and I want to look something up real quick, and I'm on D&D Beyond already, because the content, the encounter builder and all that is there, and I'm working with that. I want to be able to just look at my shit, and see like how this one particular rule works, because
pull up your glossary right there versus having to go to your bookcase behind you.
Exactly. Like the whole something that comes up a lot because of the characters that some people are playing, like the shove action, exactly how does shove work, but that's just an example. And I wouldn't have been able to just look that up. I would have had to turn and grab my book and look up, go back to the index and shove. Okay, what page is that on? And instead of just typing it in, just it's annoying.
Boom, here's your
yeah. But yeah, there's a lot going on there. If you want to look at the full breakdown, you can go to Tech Raptor. They have the whole breakdown of the whole thing there. You all can read that. And they also have links to other people who were there who can tell you more details and all that. It's a whole rabbit hole that I plan on reading later. But yeah, There's a lot happening there. It's funny because they were saying there was a lot of dodging questions going on because they didn't have the answers yet. Also, the beginning was like a whole lot of tech issues, which it happens. I'm not like gonna fault them for that. Tech issues happen, especially when you're trying something new. But they got to try it out, and yeah, it seemed like it all was pretty cool. All right.
I like how they're integrating it into D&D Beyond. I think that was a cool app the first time I ever used it because because having played D&D in person on a tabletop like the old school way, you know, and then seeing it played on D&D Beyond and everybody being on the app all at the same time and being able to see what's happening. And like we were doing it on a Zoom call during the pandemic, but to be able to integrate all of this into that system, especially for Dungeons and Masters like you running your own show, like this is like the wet dream of that in digital form if they can nail it down.
Right. The thing is, like I said, the fact that it's its own like app thing and not in browser is a problem for me, which is, you know, kind of leads me back down the path I was already going to go on, where I have people I'm actually working with right now building one. If y'all want to actually watch the episode of Creators in Creation, where I talk to the developers of Soul Seeker, Cypher Block Studios, talking it with them. And, you know, we're working actually on something D&D for the virtual tabletop that actually will work with other systems and not just D&D. It'll be 3D, be able to use, you know, and create your own actual characters in there, use your, you know, yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be pretty cool. But yeah, let's move on from that. But before we do, let me just remind you all, because if you're playing a lot of D&D, you're going to need a lot of energy. And a good way to get that energy is with Dubby. Because, you know, Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like other energy drinks. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. The product is made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. Dubby has handpicked what they believe to be the 10 most critical ingredients for focus and concentration. Dubby contains important aminos and vitamins that canned energy drinks simply don't have. Dubby also uses Neurofactor, a patented all-natural coffee extract to help fuel you. This ingredient is what gives Dubby its laser focus and fast reflex effects, making it especially perfect for gamers. They disclose full ingredient amounts, and the products will never contain fillers or artificial colors or dyes. Dubby is also sugar-free, like I mentioned, maltodextrin-free, and therefore keto-friendly. So go to w.creationworld.com and use the code Creatia to receive 10% off your order today. Again, that's w.creationworld.com. Use the code Creatia to receive 10% off. Link is in the description.
3 for 3. Nailed it.
All right. I'll ask you this, Will. We got time for one more trailer here. I will give you a choice: Ben Affleck or Chris Hemsworth.
Ooh, this could go so many directions. I think I'm gonna go with Chris Hemsworth just based off of the fact that I hope it has something to do with the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It does not, but you already picked Chris, so that's what we're going with.
You roll the dice sometimes, right?
Yeah. All right. Extraction 2. I never saw Extraction 1.
Neither did I. Let's see what we got going here.
Move.
Russos, okay.
So the Russo brothers.
Oh, damn.
Tyler, you were clinically dead 9 months ago. But you fought your way back. You came back for this.
You 100% have a concussion right now.
Yeah. No. Is this where he becomes Thor?
calls me on there. Hey, fuck this.
I could really use a Hulk right about now.
Your arm is on fire, sir.
That's gimmick infringement.
What do you do when you getting punched by a firearm? Like literal firearm. I don't mean a gun, a firearm.
That's psychological warfare is what that is. Like if you're lit on fire and you continue to bring the fight, that's not what they mean by I want the smoke. Like that's not what they meant.
That's what they got. Cause okay. Extraction 2. So yeah, there's an extraction trying to take place and it doesn't work out so well. So
Chris Hemsworth goes ham.
Yeah, on Netflix this summer, y'all. So check that out. I believe that'll be it for today, though. Got anything else you want to make sure we throw out there? Are you good to go?
I'm good to go. It's always the easiest hour. Anytime you and I cross paths, it's an easy hour, no matter what. We just hang out and talk. We just have bullet points of what we're making ourselves talk about.
You're right. It is just us hanging out and talking, and we got talking points, like a promo back in the day, you know.
Yeah.
Oh well, thank you for being here, Will. We really appreciate it every time.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you all out there for watching. We really appreciate you watching. Don't forget, you can, if you're not watching live, you can watch us live. Easy way to do that is go to twitch.tv/Creatia World. All right. Just go there, watch us live. And while you're there, you can throw us a subscription, subscribe. And the thing is, if you have Amazon Prime, you can do that for free because if you got Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming, which means you connect your Twitch account to your Amazon Prime, and that gives you a free subscription every month. We would definitely appreciate you throwing us that subscription. But if you don't give it to us, give it to somebody. Make sure you use it every month. You got to re-up it every month. They don't do it automatically, but give it to somebody every month. All right. Don't let Bezos sit on that money so we can just, waste it on $450 million shows. All right.
That's where that Bezos money goes.
Exactly. So send it our way. Send it to, send it to Will, send it to somebody. Use it. But we would, like I said, we would love it for you to use it here at Creatia World because I know you want to be our sub. You can also watch us live on YouTube at youtube.com/Creatia World. All right. Go there, watch us live. You can subscribe there for free. And also, while you're there, ring that little notification bell. And that way, every time we drop a new video or every time we go live and all that. So yes, ring that bell like a good little sub. Then another way you can watch us later on, though, if you're going to watch later, and it's Matt's favorite way. And honestly, you should definitely do it today because it's his birthday. Go to pornhub.com/model/Creatia World. We're also there because we are the number one news source for all that nerdish on the hub. So go there and watch us, and use us before, after, or during. You use whatever you got from adamandeve.creationworld.com where you use the code erotica to get 50% off and free shipping,
Full circle.
Exactly. Before, after, or during, I don't care. Do what you do. Now, if you want to support us financially, a good way to do that is at patreon.com/Creatia World. You go there. For just $1, you get a lot of our extra stuff. You get things like Return to Wrestling with myself and the Warden, Matt Ritter. We're going through old WCW stuff. Occasionally, Will's on there. Will's been on there before. You've been on there, right? Yeah. And we just did Road Wild 1997. Next we got coming up is Fall Brawl 1997. I'm not going to spoil it for Matt because I don't think he knows exactly what's happening at this point. But this is a fun month. My spot. Then we got what else? Multiverse, myself and Mara the Shark Watkins, where the two of us were going through animated comic book stuff. Right now, we're working our way through DC. We just did Green Lantern, Beware My Power. Next, we're doing that Justice Society movie. I forgot exactly what it's called, but it's on HBO Max. It's fun time. Check that out. But yeah, $1 gets you that kind of stuff. Higher tiers get you more stuff, but we'll start there. Just $1 is enough. We're happy if you do that for now. Also, if you just want to know more about us and what we do, you go to creatiaworld.com, and that's where you find out the fun stuff. Find out, what's Matt's favorite ice cream? It's his birthday. You might want to get him his favorite ice cream. Do that. What's Mara's favorite drink? You can find that out, creatiaworld.com. What's my favorite word? Bitch. That's not on there. It's, but I just wanted to say it because I brought it up the other day and that was funny to me. So I'm just going to keep saying it. Also, if you're on the socials, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, at It's Creatia World, at ITSCREATIA World. As always, I'm not telling you how to spell word. If you don't know how to spell world, get a goddamn dictionary, get your life together. Facebook, facebook.com/Creatia World. And while you're on Facebook, if you're a Game of Thrones fan of them thrones, fan of the House of the Dragon, go to facebook.com/groups/them dragons, where we talking Game of Thrones. We're talking House of the Dragons. Drop your Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon memes. You just got a cool picture of a dragon, put that in there. I will like that in a second because I love dragons. Also, if you're a wrestling fan, another Facebook group, facebook.com/group/Smacking It Raw. It's our official Facebook group for the Smacking It Raw podcast, which is every Friday night, midnight Eastern, 11 o'clock Central. That's PM, just so you all know. If y'all don't translate that well, it's fine. I told you because I'm nice. I know. Yeah, every Friday night, the Warden Matt Ritter, Miss Day Delgado, Katie Kinsey Bebe, every week. Occasionally, at The Will Gray will be there as well because he just pops in on our stuff all the time because he is the honorary use of Creatia World. So he's just wherever, whenever, how it goes. Thanks again, Will. I appreciate you being here. Tell people where they can find you. Tell all the people what you got going on, all that good stuff. Plug your shit. Let's go.
Travis, first and foremost, I always say thank you for allowing me to be the honorary Oos in the It's Creatia World family. I appreciate that. We've got some cool stuff coming up this week. I dropped an episode with Ruthless Lala yesterday. She's the first woman of prolific wrestling. Desmond Cole is going up today. He is a highlight reel from the Atlantic Northeast in the New England area. And I'm recording tonight with former King of the Deathmatch, John Wayne Murdoch, ICW, GCW, XPW, former world heavyweight champion for a lot of these. It's going to get a little bit more extreme than it normally does. But just a couple interviews we got coming down the pipes. You can find us anywhere you do anything on the internet at Botch Spots and Chair Shots.
Nice. And always, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lord_Cussalott. That is at LORD_CUSSALOTT. Thank you all for watching. We will see y'all next time. Tomorrow, we got myself and Mara the Shark Watkins. Friday, we got Mara the Shark Watkins, and the Ward Matt Ritter makes his return. We'll see y'all then. Until then, we out.
Peace.